the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
I mean, Jordan Matthews too, 4-star, who was a big time get for Willie Martinez a couple of years ago. He's sitting there at the 4 spot in the depth chart, but he came in higher rated than anybody else in that cornerback room. So still possibilities for him for things to click going into this year. Switching gears here a little bit, position outlook spotlight as we can continue on this series. Jack Foster, quarterback. What do you like most about the room? How will it evolve this season versus what we saw last year? Obviously, some new faces coming into the room, and Jake Merklinger. Biggest question mark, though, that you have with the quarterback room at Tennessee in 2024 as well?
I really like that guy who wears number 8. I think he's going to be a big part of that room. Blanking on his name. Nico Iamaleava. Of course. Mm-hmm. How could I forget? Yeah, he's going to be big for that room this year. I kid. But yeah, I mean, obviously he's the leader. When you look past him, I feel like that would be my question mark is there competition if Nico goes down? Of course, Gaston Morris, the guy's been here forever, is the walk-on. But Jake Merklinger, highly touted freshman coming in. So is there going to be competition there for the backups, for a starter spot if Nico were to go down? See how that would shake out. But yeah, I feel like the room isn't, when you have a player with as much upside as Nico, I feel like you have to say the room is pretty dang good because of what Nico can bring to the table. But I don't feel like it's the deepest in the world just because of, Gaston Moore not being, a prospect or anything like that, and Merklinger being young. Dameron's a walk-on as well. So I would have a pretty big question mark if Nico were to go down. Whereas last year, of course, if Joe would have gone down, you'd feel comfortable. And even with Hendon in 22, if he would have gone down, at least Milton had experience. So it's a little bit different this year. But with what Nico can bring to the table, I feel like this should be a much better room than last year, just because Nico's going to be much better than Joe Milton was last year.
Well, it's also you don't have the looming presence of Nico behind Joe. Where last year, one of the awkward things is the Texas A&M game and what that was, and the week that followed, and just the quarterback controversy of who should play, when is the right time to use Nico, when do you go to Nico. This year it's settled. There's no question about who is quarterback 1 and whose team this is going into this season. Ethan, I just look at it. One of the things I think is funny, and I know you're a Bears guy, so a good quarterback play is not something that you've become used to as a sports fan, NFL fan in general. But I don't seem to remember any Colts fans over the years being the prime years of Peyton Manning being damn it, do we really have Jim Sorgi as our backup quarterback again? That's not a thing. NFL fans have dealt with this forever. It's if you have a franchise quarterback, you don't care. You don't think about the guy behind you. You don't think about Matt Castle. You don't think about Brian Hoyer. You don't think about Matt Schaub in Atlanta behind Matt Ryan. It's fine. The people who are so tied up, college football just caught up to what the NFL experience has been forever, which is, hey man, if we got a great franchise quarterback and he goes down, season's over. That's just how this is going. Guess what? It's over. You just, there's this we got to have the deepest quarterback room. Nobody cares in the NFL about having the deepest quarterback room. No one cares who the backup, off the top of y'all's head, who is the current backup quarterback for Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City? Do y'all know?
Carson Wentz.
Is that okay? Ryan, is that your guess?
No,
yeah, because I trust Jack to be right.
Yeah, I didn't know. I will trust Jack as well.
Carson Wentz. How many average NFL fans, how many Chiefs fans even know that? How many would still say Blaine Gabbert, possibly? It doesn't matter, because if Patrick Mahomes goes down, it's over. If Nico, so I just think the Tennessee fans, and I wrote about this a few weeks ago, who are so concerned about the quarterback room depth, y'all, if Nico is really good, it doesn't matter. The quarterback depth does not matter behind him for the next 2 years. But also, if something, God forbid, happens to Nico, the season's over anyway. The whatever college football playoff aspirations you had, whatever kind of big time, it doesn't matter if you have a little bit more depth. If Casey Thompson had come on to Tennessee to be the backup quarterback, the season's still over in a sense of what you're trying to accomplish. Nico is a ceiling setter. He is someone that is the number 1 quarterback in his class. He has all the talent in the world. He could be a Heisman type quarterback. It's not how it works. You don't get 2 franchise quarterbacks in the quarterback room. You don't. This is not how it works for most programs. It's just silly to me.
Not every program can just have Spencer Sanders come be the backup and never
Yeah.
have stuff. Y'all ever think about that? About how he was a complete guy at Oklahoma State and then transfers to Ole Miss to back up Jackson Dart in his last year of collegiate eligibility? It is
one of the strangest transfer decisions in recent memory I can remember.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird when he did it. I mean, Dart was in a good situation. He had good wide receivers coming in. He and Kiffin have a great relationship. Yep. That seemed weird from the start to me.
Auburn was sitting right there. Like, I always thought he was going to go to Auburn. I was like, Auburn made the most sense. Like, he would have been QB1 at Auburn, and he fit kind of what Hugh wants to do anyway. I didn't understand why. Yeah, that was weird. And now it's over.
Yeah, and he was like week 6-7 of 2022. I mean, he was in that Heisman discussion.
He almost played in a college football playoff game. He was almost a starting quarterback. Yeah. Remember, Oklahoma State lost in the last play to Baylor in the Big 12 title game. Like, Spencer Sanders was a dude that previous year. Yeah. Now you got Alan Bowman in year 19 of college football suiting up for the Cowboys again.
Hey, OK State turns most starters in college football. Watch out for the Pokes.
As for the Bears comment, Chase, the only way I could possibly give any nuance or expertise to this conversation as a fan of the Chicago Bears, watching their quarterback play over the last couple of years, I mean, you got to look Gaston Moore, if he's the guy, which I would assume he'd be the second dude. I agree 100% with your take that, I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. Like, if Gaston Moore's Tennessee's quarterback, they're not doing anything nice. If they get in the 12-team playoff, it doesn't matter. Like, Gaston Moore's the guy. But he can be like...
It's like Florida State last year when Jordan Travis went down. It was like... the season was over. Like, you're not winning the college football playoff when Jordan Travis went down. Like, it sucked, but that was it. Like, Jordan Travis was a Heisman type guy. Like, he was really, really good for Florida State last year. It just changes the guy. It doesn't mean it's gonna be a disaster. Like, I think Gaston Moore's competent. I think Gaston Moore would be fine. Like, I think you can still win a lot of games with Gaston Moore, but I don't think that when I say the season's over, what I'm saying is, like, their aspirations, what is real and what is attainable, is over if things go awry for Nico. So like that, and that's how it is for most of these programs. If Georgia loses Carson Beck, their aspirations greatly change. Like, unless you really, really are the all-time Gunnar Stockton believer, like, no, Carson Beck might be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. There is going to be a drop-off if Carson Beck's not available. There's going to be a drop-off for a lot of these quarterbacks around the country. The big time quarterbacks, if they go down, if Cam Moore goes down for Miami, if, like, you can just go up and down the list for a lot of different. We saw Connor Wegman. Like, what happens at A&M? The bottom probably falls out if Wegman doesn't stay healthy this year for Texas A&M. So that's just how it is for most of even the big time programs around the country. I think to Jack's point, where not everyone just has Spencer Sanders or what Georgia had previously with Stetson Bennett and Carson Beck and Gunnar Stockton and Brock Vandergrift. Like, that's a rarity. That's just. It's not reality for everybody else. So it's just, hey, the NFL, Texas, this is how it's always been.
Even Texas, most arches transfer out.
Yeah, that's not to say that I don't think Gaston Moore couldn't win any games. I was going to make the connection to Chase Daniel with the Bears. Like, I mean, he comes in, he wins one boring game, and he, like, I don't know, the Bears season is already over at that point. It's week 13, and I, just want next season to show up.
Yeah, we're like Patriots fans in the Matt Castle year. They went 11-5. Like, Gaston Moore, I think, could still win. Like, this thing would, I think, would still hum. Like, Gaston Moore, Jake Merklinger, I think they would still be able to get to like 8-9, whatever it is, depending on when something like that would happen. But, like, it's just different. Like, no one thought the Patriots were winning a national or winning a Super Bowl with Matt Castle that year. Like, they could win the AFC East. You're still not picking the Patriots to win it all. Like, that's just how it's going to be with Nico. I don't know. That's just how it is.
Examples there's countless examples. Outside of the 22 49ers, there's countless examples.
Right? It's another good one. Final thing here. Vol Hoops. Ethan, this is your moment after having to sit back and watch us talk about Tennessee baseball for the first 20 minutes here. This is your moment. The JP Estrella fan club leader. Year 1 analysis, Ethan Stone, from what you saw from JP going into year 2. What worked for him last year? What didn't?
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas podcast. Hell yeah.